Hello, you're watching PlayStation Access, and welcome back to our lovely roof terrace, where I've been joined by Elle. And Elle is going to tell me about Dying Light 2, which you've seen today.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see it, and I'm sad.
I also got a cool statue, so...
Yes, I know. I wasn't going to mention the statue.
Didn't want to bring it up again, but it was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I may steal it. Actually, I'm going to steal Nathan's.
Yeah, don't steal mine. Steal his. Yeah.
Because I want to hear these 5 things that you said have surprised you.
Yes.
About Dying Light 2.
So I have to say, it looked really, really good.
Okay.
I saw it last year. I was pretty excited about it then, and they really fleshed it out this year.
Okay.
And there were loads of points where I was like,
Oh.
like quite genuinely as well. It was really embarrassing.
Right,
the devs could see me, and I was like,
the lady at the back there, please stop with the ooh.
Exactly. So, but my first thing is evolved zombies.
That sounds horrible.
Yes, it really is, actually.
Right, okay. Oh, great. Another game for me, then.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, you would not be a fan.
Right,
There were genuine points where I, flinched.
Oh, no, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I think one of the things about a zombie game at this point is that it needs to bring something else.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think any kind of zombie media at this point needs to be like, here's our take on it.
Exactly.
So what have Dying Light 2 got?
So, we only saw one of these, but there are going to be several districts.
Okay.
And it turns out that each district is going to have some kind of environmental condition that has created zombies that evolved to that specific location.
I like that.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm not going to explain exactly how we saw the first evolved zombie, because that's a later point.
Okay.
But we saw a zombie arm come in right at the end of our demo, and just spikes pop up out the arm.
What kind of environmental conditions create a spiky zombie?
Apparently water.
A cactus.
Yeah.
Is it a cactus field?
It is, yeah.
Right, okay. That sounds horrible. Okay,
Yeah.
Spiky zombies.
Yeah, so it does mean that,
They just come and give you a big hug.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's it.
Oh, God, that's absolutely horrible.
I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, no to that. I mean, and they're already pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, again, we've still got the same thing where it's more dangerous in the dark. You know, at one point we fell through a roof into an abandoned warehouse, and I was like, oh, this doesn't bode well.
No.
And we had, lovely leaping zombies that were like super fast, as is the Dying Light way. And so we've already got the terrifying ones, but now
They've evolved. Brilliant.
evolved to be more terrifying.
Okay, excellent. There was me thinking that evolution was something that the living did.
Yeah.
But apparently not. Okay, what's number 2? Please, let's get away from evolved zombies.
This is way away from it.
Okay.
Much more fun. There's a paraglider.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was awesome. So we had a big chase sequence. We were chasing after a bus that we had to catch.
Right. We've all been there.
I realise that doesn't sound as good as it was in the game.
Well, we can't be late.
No, exactly.
We can't be late for our appointments, even in a post-apocalypse.
I promise it was a lot more dramatic than that sounds. It was actually brilliant.
Right, okay.
And we had to basically run the entire city and or parkour our way through the entire city. And we had a grappling hook, which is not entirely new.
Okay.
So we kind of grappled, and I was like, yeah, seen that before. And then suddenly we threw up a paraglider. We were just paragliding across the city, and it was amazing.
That is really, really cool.
Especially for someone lazy like me who doesn't want to parkour.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
Like, yeah, let me just glide.
Someone like me who probably will accidentally fall off a building.
Yeah,
and then we'll have an option that isn't just
to be
fall
like,
to my death.
Oh, I meant to do this. Don't worry about it.
I'll just whip out my paraglider.
So I have to say I'm pretty excited about that, because the grappling hook was really good in Dying Light 1. Like, that was already, it made it feel, it felt really, really cool. It was a really fun way to get around. It did feel less stressful than having to climb a rope, because I just had PE flashbacks. But so the paraglider, I feel like is going to be my mode of transport.
Absolutely.
Aside from the bus.
I'm just picturing you, in this presentation with seeing the grappling hook and go, I've seen that before, and then the paraglider. Ooh,
you have my
please, will you
attention.
stop? I'm glad you're enjoying it, but please. What's number 3?
So this really surprised me. This was a genuine what?
Okay.
Was that the developers told us that in a normal playthrough, by the time you get to the end of the game, you'll only have played 50% of the content.
Wow, that's a big statement.
Yeah. So they're really going all in on this. This idea of your decisions completely changing the course of the game.
Right.
So the kind of idea is that it's 15 years later than Dying Light 1. you're in this city. It's a modern dark age, and it's a city with several districts. They're all controlled by different factions. The kind of primary issue that we've seen so far is that there's a lack of water, and kind of whoever controls that water supply is in charge. And so there are loads of different ways that you can influence what happens, including you'll be able to destroy whole areas, and they can't come back. So genuinely, that's why when you get to the end, you'll have only seen 50% because things will happen, and there's no way for you to undo that. And we saw it quite brutally at the beginning, where we had a friend shot, and we had to decide whether we chased this bus. Which we needed. It was how we were going to go and turn on some pumps and bring water to the whole city, or whether we found him a doctor, and we had to make the choice that we had to turn on the water for this city, and then we get a call later on telling us he died. So
that's him gone for the whole rest of your story, I suppose.
Exactly, and he was a pivotal figure at the beginning. He was bringing factions together to try and talk about things, and he's gone now. So that his role as somebody who was kind of navigating those difficulties in different groups we can't rely on him anymore to do that.
Yeah. Wow.
So and again, this was where we saw the first zombies. So because we did go on and turn on the pumps in this place where we had a choice not to, we were told to go there by one person, and when we got there, that person was like, "They're tricking you, listen to me," which is
the classic.
Yeah. So we had to make a decision, and the person we chose to listen to, we turn on the pumps, it drains all the water out of that location, which not only reveals a whole new district. So at that point, this district was completely underwater. We wouldn't have found it had we not done that.
Oh, wow.
And it's literally an entire new district. But unfortunately, it is the home of the spiky water zombies.
I mean, now that I know that, I'm going to save my friend and just not bother with water ever. Just like, what about that water district? No, just leave it.
Nah, it's fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine for it. That's huge.
Yeah.
That like 50%. That's massive.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not an end game state where you can just keep playing and you want to play through from the beginning again and make different decisions.
Yeah, definitely. And they said they're going to be brutal about it. It's going to save the second you make a decision, and you can't.
I like that. I think that should be taken away from me. I have, but learned my lesson with things like Skyrim, where I'm like, a big decision's coming up. I'll save it and see which one I like best. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, you cannot do that.
I'm all for that. Yeah. Speaking of all for, what's point number 4?
It is that this time you are infected.
Really?
Yeah. So you actually, this was really cool. So you have a bracelet on, and we noticed it early on because our demo started with like a shot of our hands washing in a sink, or not washing because there was no water. But, but yeah, we had a bracelet on, and that's actually how you track the level of your infection. And so when we were fighting with zombies, when we were getting kind of bitten by zombies, attacked by zombies, the point where I was saying earlier where we fell through a roof and we fell into like an entire building of zombies, we could see a meter that was showing us how serious our infection was getting, like how much more infected we were becoming. And there becomes a point where that's too much, and I don't know exactly what happens yet. They were just like, at that point it tips over and you've become someone who is infected.
Right. So you're not. So does this go up and down? Like, do you know? Like, as in, is it just gradually throughout the game you're going to become more infected, or is it something that you can manage?
They didn't tell us.
Ooh.
Which is really. I was like, oh, tell me more.
Yeah.
But all they told us was that you are infected, and the infection can grow as you are attacked by other zombies, and so you have to keep an eye on it. Yeah. So I'm kind of intrigued to see what happens with that, because do I get to play as a parkouring zombie?
Yeah. Yeah. I can't be afraid of spiky zombies if I'm a spiky zombie.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, then we'll just be having lovely hugs.
Yeah. I mean, and have you ever seen a zombie paragliding? They're a lot less scary.
God, I didn't realise that's all I've ever wanted to see.
Yeah,
that's the piece of me that's been missing. Please, Techland.
Yeah.
Let us see a paragliding zombie. So what's the last thing on your list?
So you can play cooperatively.
Okay.
And you can go into your friends' world and see the decisions they've made. So you can see where maybe you went wrong, where maybe you should have done something differently.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So you can actually see how their world has turned out, learn about their decisions, look at what their city looks like.
Wow.
And explore it with them in co-op, which will be kind of 2 to 4 players.
So when you're playing cooperatively, you'll choose whose world to inhabit?
Yes.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I really like that.
I do. And especially because, as they were saying, they're being so brutal with the decision making. It's like, oh, you've made that decision. We've destroyed that part of the city. Like, there's really no going back.
You would have loved it too. You would have loved it. But it's gone now.
Yeah. There was a paragliding shop. There was
There was loads of zombie cure.
Yeah.
You'd be fine.
Sorry about that.
bracelets for days.
Yeah,
but
exactly. So, the idea that I can kind of go and see if my friend didn't do that, what that would have looked like, what their world is, and also I'm being really smug about a decision. Just, bring them into my world and be like, oh, plenty of drinking water here.
I think that's great, because it's also like, I don't know, with games like that where you make decisions or just any games really, where there are differences, it's really nice to talk to someone about the differences and say, oh, did you do this? But to be able to actually go in and see what that has done and be able to compare directly, like, the two different experiences, because I think not everybody is going to want to play through the game twice.
Yeah, not everybody has time to. If you would need to do a lot of playthroughs, I think it's fair to say,
right,
to see everything, because they've really, it's genuinely affects everything, every decision you make, every dialogue choice, and so it's unlikely that unless you play it straight for the next 10 years that you are ever going to see everything. That's kind of some of the beauty of what they're doing, but it does give you an opportunity to see some of the things you've missed.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really good. Now, I happen to know that you have just other things that you want to tell me about.
They didn't surprise me, but I do want to talk about.
Right, well, that's the difference. That's like, we've had the 5 surprising things.
Yeah.
Now these are just more things.
Yeah, more things. Mainly they're one thing, and it's this. They introduced the combat as brutal.
Okay.
And I was very excited about this.
Yes.
Because it really is. So the combat just looks brilliant, absolutely.
I thought you were going to say brutal.
Yeah.
We've covered that, Elle. Yeah.
No, it just looked absolutely amazing. So there was like a very early fight, and we went in with like some kind of incredible buzzsaw on a string, and it could and we were slicing people, then we could like throw it out on a string, and we like hacked someone's head off and like pulled it back in, and there was one point where later on as well, somebody was shooting us with like a pressure gun, which was amazing. That you could like the way they'd animated this like boof of this like pressure gun was amazing. Anyway, we knocked out the person, we stole it from them, and eventually it ran out of air. I mean, I'm not entirely sure how it works, but
I think that's okay. Yeah,
we couldn't use it anymore, and so we flipped it around. It just had a hammer on the other end, and we just started going mad with the hammer, and I was like, this is perfection. Yeah. I was so happy.
Do you know what? I totally forgot that like a big part of Dying Light is the weapons and like you know, just making do with what's around. Yeah, and that really kind of creative. Together. Yeah, that sounds really, really cool.
Yeah, and it felt. I love the combat in Dying Light 1, so when I say it's kind of slicker and it feels improved, that's no slight on that, because I already loved it. Yeah. But this just felt really, I wasn't playing it, but I'm going to say intuitive. Just watching them kind of...
I was so good at the game, it was insane.
I was just watching it like, how am I doing this?
Wow, I'm good. I always knew I was.
So it was just, it was so fun to watch, like a big scene where we took on like a gang, and it was just like we, slid over here, did this, and also we had like an enemy that was kind of like a traditional heavy, like loads of armor. It takes a while to get down, and we had to learn that what takes them down is parkour moves, and so we had a thing where we could like swing a rope up, like catch it on, and then like double foot kick towards them through the air to like knock them down. So the combat just looked really incredible, and particularly because they've said this time they're really mixing it with traversal, mixing it with the parkour moves. So it's about doing both, not having to choose whether you like escape and fight. You can kind of parkour, kick your way out of a situation, and it looked absolutely incredible.
Well, that sounds amazing. I am genuinely surprised at your surprising things, and not surprised that you're very excited about smashing zombies' heads in with a range of tools and DIY equipment. That's amazing. Thank you so much, especially for the vision of spiky zombies, which will stay with me forever.
You're welcome.
Although if they're paragliding, I'm kind of happy about it. So let us know in the comments below how you would like to destroy a zombie's brain. What's around you right now? Let us know in the comments below. Like this video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything else from the world of PlayStation.
For the players.